Hey guys, thank you for joining us again for another exciting episode. Yamo, this is a Year of Magical Learning podcast. So today, another brand new week, and we are doing Reflection 296. This is a new book for me as well. It's called The New 1 Minute Manager by Spencer Johnson and Ken Blanchard.
Yeah, so I was looking for a short, fast read. I think this is a really quick one. I think I'd just come off a string of a lot of longer books in a row. And I remembered I had this one saved. When I first took over my first sales team when I think I was 27 or something like that, 28, back in my Angie's List days. I got promoted at the same time as they formed like six other teams. We were growing so fast that we hired like six managers at the same time. And I was one of those roles, and I was very proud to be one of those roles. One of my fellow co-managers who was also taking over his first team in his career at that time was also somebody around my age. He was a little older than me, like maybe 30 or 32 or something. I remember he bought this book called The 1 Minute Manager, and he was like, my dad told me to read this book. And I go, okay, sure. And he goes, he's like, you should check it out. I go, yeah, no, yeah, whatever. Cool. Never read it. So I remember this book, and I was searching for like a quick, I don't know why the everywhere culture kind of piqued my interest a little bit, and from like business side of everything. And I don't know, I just found this book, and it's a fast, quick read. And I was like, why not? Let's see what this is all about. This is actually like a really famous, business book. It's like one of those like Who Moved My Cheese kind of books, where it's like fast and quick and supposed to be an impactful business book or whatever. I think the same guy wrote this. I think Spencer Johnson wrote both Who Moved My Cheese and The 1 Minute Manager.
Yes.
Is he the Who Moved My Cheese guy too? He is. He wrote both of these. Okay. So yeah, he co-authored The 1 Minute Manager. That's funny. Okay. So this is just like the Who Moved My Cheese kind of book. Anyway, so this book is about it's like a story of this manager that you know has a very specific way of coaching and leading his teams, and he does it so well and efficiently that he only he spends so little time with them, basically, because he's trained them, coached them, understood how to interact with them, and they don't need him anymore, right? So like that's the point of this book, right? It's a parable of a young man looking for an effective manager who's more relevant and useful than ever, right? Like it's just a parable. It's just like Who Moved My Cheese. It's a parable, like business story, right? The book sucked. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like it was awful. Like, I honestly, it was almost like comically awful. But if this is the only book you ever pick up on leadership and management and all that other stuff, please
Well,
read
fortunate
more.
for me, I don't want to be a leader.
Fair enough. Please read more if this is the only book you ever pick up. Not that I'm trying to hate on. I actually kind of like the Who Moved My Cheese book, but I think he was trying to recreate the wheel here with that, tell another like fun parable story. And I don't know. I didn't like it. It wasn't good. That said, though, as this is the year of magical learning, the goal was never do you like the book or not like the book. The goal is learn something and share your thoughts and reflections, and do this with my daughter. So we did. We finished it. We learned a lesson. We wrote about it. We're sharing it with you guys now, and that's that, right? So the reflection title it says catch somebody doing something approximately right. So this is a bit of a story. So you're gonna have to follow me on this one. It may take 5-10 minutes, but I'm excited to tell it. So going back to a book that we did a long time ago, book 39. It was called Beginners. It was a book about like people that just do a lot of like brand new things in their life, and those experiences and the joy of just trying something new. The reflection title from that one, if you remember, was Learning is a Lifetime Sport. Learning is one of our core values at Cloveny, and something that's also one of my personal core values. So trying to learn something new every day is the whole point of your magical learning journey, right? I love learning because, as we've talked about before, monotony compresses time while novelty unfolds it. We love new shit, right? Like new shit just makes things so much more exciting. Get your brain going, it gets you wrapped up in new thoughts, and feels like time just flies by when you're learning new things. I mean, it really is an incredible feeling and almost addicting, right? I mean, it is addicting. Like if you're doing your values right, it's addicting, and a good addiction, but it's addicting. Learning, though, is a double-edged sword. While it's really fun to fill your head with new novel ideas and thoughts and things that, when you learn new shit and you try new shit, you usually suck at it. So it's kind of humbling, and it reminds you that you really don't know anything a lot of times. So while learning is really fun and it unlocks the novelty of life, it also can give you a good dose of humility when you realize, shit, I don't know anything, and kind of keeps you on your toes, right? So this got me thinking about that contradiction of learning, that made me think of a story as I was writing this. I was going to give an example of the illustration and the power of learning. But the weekend that I finished this book, I don't even know when it was. So December, we're in August. This is probably back in like November, I would say, when these events happened. So I play in this thing called an industrial tennis league, and it starts in late September and it goes through May every year. So this is a league where we play every Saturday. at these indoor tennis courts here in Indianapolis. It's called the Industrial League because each team plays another team. It's like team tennis. So I'm on a team. There's like 12 teams in this league. They have 6 courts. This is how the format of this league goes. 3 singles courts. There's 3 doubles courts. Each week you're fielding 9 players total from each team are competing each other. These are timed matches. A normal match is best of 3 sets, and whoever wins. You could, in theory, actually lose the overall game score and still win the match. So let's say you lost a set 7-6, and then you won the next set 6-0, and then you lost the next set 7-6. You technically won more games in that match and lost the match, right? That could happen in a real match. It can't happen in this format, right? So this format is timed. You only get an hour and a half to compete. As soon as the clock starts, when you walk onto the court, you have an hour and a half to play as many games as you can play, and whoever has the most games won. That isn't on serve, meaning the opponent is down 1 game at the end of it and they're serving, that would be a tie. You have to be up a break and also winning in the game score in order to win the match, right? Does this make sense? Does it make sense? I mean, you're following me? So it's hour and a half long. You just play as many games as you can. And then at the end of it, you see who won the most games, overall games. Right. So it's a really interesting format. It's kind of fun. So every Saturday we all get together, we go play for an hour and a half. It's a great way to just, play an hour and a half of a match. And usually you can get close to 2 sets in, or something like that, or maybe even a little bit more. If you're playing somebody that really sucks, you might sometimes I've played like 4 sets, in an hour and a half where you're just like kicking somebody's ass. And it's just like, so it's so boring, where you're up like 20-1, and you're like, can we just end this misery? But you can't stop until the clock sounds. It's kind of weird actually in the format. So this particular match on this particular Industrial League day, I was playing on our 1 singles court. The opponent I was playing, he was good. It was the first time I've ever played him. So I'd never seen him before in this format and I never played against him. He walks on the court. He had a really interesting game. He was a pretty solid player. I was a little worried when we were going through warm-ups. I was like, shit, am I going to have to really bring my A game today? Because I've never met this guy. And, you never know what you're going to get a lot of times when you walk on the court, at this Industrial League, because teams have, a lot of different players on them. We just rotate players all the time into different courts. So I start this match off and I'm kind of a little worried. This guy's got seemed like he had a really good game when we were warming up. And all of a sudden, he just was missing everything. He was going for every shot and missing everything. And I was like, I didn't even do anything. I swear to you. I would just get 1 ball back in and he would try to rip a winner and he would miss it. But I was like, the shots that he was hitting, I could tell were really good shots, and I was like, he's just missing, I was like, if he starts to get some of these in, I'm like, I'm in fucking trouble, and sure as shit, I found myself up 7-2. We were about 45 minutes, about halfway through the match. So it was an hour and a half and we're about 45 minutes in. Normally, if you're up 7-2 against an opponent, you're kind of almost cruising and it's going to be really, really, really hard for them to come back. I knew this was like a smoke and mirrors kind of situation. This guy hit really aggressive balls, and I was like, if he starts to get his shit together, this could be competitive really fast. Sure as shit it was. Fast forward about 20 minutes later, I was up 8-7 in the game score. He was serving. It's 8-7. He's up 40-30 in the game score, meaning he needs to win 1 more point in that game to tie up the overall match score at 8 games apiece. If he wins the point, we're tied now. So I was way up. And now he came storming back and he's hitting the shots. And I'm starting to sweat a little bit on the other end. I'm like, oh God, are we about to get tied up? And is this guy just going to blow past me and win this match? And I was like, how did this happen? This doesn't usually happen this way in this kind of a format. So it's 40-30. He, we get into a rally, maybe a 4 or 5 shot rally or something like that. And he tries to go for another winner, like he'd been doing the whole entire time. He rips his forehand down the line. I'm running across the court trying to track it down. He's on the down the line shot. He hit it straight down the line. And as I'm running to call the ball in or out, it looked like it was out, but it was really, really close, right? If this was one of those Hawkeye things you have at a pro tournament, I would have been like, I don't know. For whatever reason, I decided to call it out. I knew, oh God, maybe this is in, maybe this is out. I don't know, but I decided I'm going to call this out. So I call this out, and the guy was staring right down the line that he was hit at. And he goes, "Are you sure? And you call that out?" And I go, "Yeah, I think that was out." And he goes, "You sure?" And I go, "Yeah, I think so." So he's like, "Okay, fine, whatever." So now we're tied. It's deuce, right? And now it's 40-all. And I went on to win that game and break his serve. And now I'm up 9-7. And then I won the next 2 games. So I was up 11-7, right? It was a really fun match. Had a good time. This guy was a really good opponent. And after the match is over, we were just shooting the shit before we departed. And he was like, "Man, you're a really good player." He's like, "We should get together and go hit some time or whatever." And he was like, "Do you want to exchange numbers?" And I was like, "Sure, fine. That sounds good. You're a good player. Let's go hit some time, So we shake hands. We walk off the court. I get back into my car, and As soon as I get back in my car, I can't get that call out of my mind. Like I was like, was that it? Was it out? I don't know. Like, it was such a pivotal point of this match, like a very, very pivotal point of the match, right? I mean, literally, he wins that point, we're tied, and who the hell knows what happens after that? And for me, like, I didn't really give a shit if I won the match or not. It's just industrial league. I'm just having fun, whatever. And I was like, why didn't I just call that in? If I thought it was questionable, who cares? And I just felt like I kind of screwed the guy, especially how the match shook out after that. Me going on and winning that game, it didn't sit with me. It didn't feel right, And so I get home, and it's Saturday morning, and I walk in, and Felicia and Luca are eating breakfast or whatever the hell they're doing. And I just went and sat down on a chair, and I just kind of stared blank with the wall. I just couldn't get this out of my mind. I really couldn't get it out of my mind. And I sat there and I ate some breakfast and stared at the wall. And then I told my wife about the scenario, and I was like, I feel really awful right now. And she was like, what do you think? She was like, well, you probably feel awful because you probably feel like you probably cheated the guy, And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. I kind of probably did feel like I kind of cheated the guy, And I was like, I don't want to do that. That like violates my core value of integrity, right? And I was like, man, this really hurts. Like this hurts like way more than losing the match. Like I was like, I feel like I let myself down. I feel like I let Amelia down. I feel like I'm not living up to my own values, and I'm learning, right? And then I remembered this line from I just finished this book. And it said, punishment never works when you use it on somebody that's learning. I literally had just heard this like the day before or that day, and it was kind of stuck in my head a little bit from this manager book. I felt like I was just punishing myself, but I was like, look, I won the match, but it's okay. I screwed up. I can sit here and punish myself for feeling like I violated a value, or I can just say, fuck it, I'm sorry, and I own up to it and fix this right now, right? Try something, try to do better. So this is no joke, because that guy and I had exchanged numbers after the match. I sat there and I was like, how could I do this in the future better where I don't feel like this after this match? Like, because people are going to call bad calls every once in a while. It happens. I mean, professional line judges make bad calls when they're staring at the line. Sometimes it's hard to see the ball. There's intention, and then there's just accidental calling. That one, I don't know. I couldn't even decipher whether I intentionally called that out or whatever. Like, it was a complicated call, right? So I was like, look, I can do better. One of the things I could do to alleviate this feeling in the future, if I'm trying to work on my core values and learn and not punish myself, is next time that I'm playing a match against somebody, like I just go up to them and I say, hey, look, this is just a friendly match. We're not like pros or something. Like, if I ever make a call where you feel like it is absolutely 100% in, and you are adamant about it, I was like, I will be happy to change the call. Like, that is fine. If you think that I made a bad call, then just tell me, and like, I will change the call, And I was like, that would work. I've done that a few times since, especially against people that I know are kind of testy about stuff like that. So I'm like, just to kind of set that upfront contract. Or I was like, that could work in the future, but I was like, what do I do to remedy this situation right now? And to use my bring my integrity core value out now. I still didn't feel like that was enough for me of a learning lesson yet. I decided to then text this guy, and I was like, look, man, this is like 2 hours after the match. I was like, it's great. The message was something like, it was great to play you today. I thought you were a really great player. And I was like, look, I'm really sorry. I can't get this out of my head. I feel like I screwed you on this call. And I was like, it was such a pivotal point in the match. And, I just wanted to say, like, I'm really sorry. Like, that was not intentional by any means at all. The guy immediately texted me back, and he was like, no worries at all. He's like, it was great playing you. I had a lot of fun. He was like, I probably was wrong anyway. It's fine. Not a big deal. Like, immediately I felt this sigh of relief. And I was like, okay, well, no matter what he said, I just felt nice that it was out there, knowing like, look, I tried. I'm trying to honor my core values of integrity. I'm not punishing myself by sitting there in my chair, beating myself up, replaying the point over and over in my mind. I felt like at that moment in time, I was whole, right? So this all goes back to the title of catch somebody doing something approximately right. So instead of the whole, punishing somebody learning, idea, which is what most people do. I feel like, when you make a mistake, most people just like punish people. But when you're trying to learn something new every single day, like the better approach I did like from this book is instead like catch somebody doing something approximately right and let them know, good work. You know what I mean? So today, on this particular day, I decided I wanted to document this story and write this thing out because I caught myself doing something approximately right. I may have fucked up and I could have punished myself, but instead I wrote this down for posterity's sake, to share the story with others, and obviously share this with you as well, to say, I'm glad that I caught myself doing something approximately right toward this core value, because I'm still learning, and learning is a lifetime sport, right? So that all comes back around. Anyway, I'd love to get your thoughts.
So I still don't understand what you mean by approximately.
I didn't do it right, because doing it right would have been in the moment saying, you make the right call, right? Like if I have any questions, like say that's out or that's in, right? Like that's the right integrity move. If I have any doubts, I say I have doubts, that was in. Like I don't even if I made the call out, I immediately go, no, I have doubts, that was in. Like I can change it right then and there. The second opportunity that I had to do this the right way, if I was honoring my core values, was to, if they challenged it, to say, okay, maybe I was wrong, and that's okay. Like, you're right. I'm going to give you this point and this game, and we're just going to keep playing and feel better, right? So approximately right was when I went backwards in time and tried to do something approximately right. It was not a full integrity move. It was approximately a good integrity move. I could do better, and I should do better.
But did you know that it was in or out?
I still don't know, man. It was super close.
To me, it doesn't, because if you know that was in and you caught out, then yeah, you did approximately right because you violated. But if you don't know and you say, well, you make a judgment call and say, hey, I think was in. I mean, if anybody challenged me, but it's not like you intentionally.
Hang on, but if I wrote about it and I felt this bad, well, at this point in time, I probably thought the ball was in. And then he challenged it, and I still said, I'm going to stick with out. You know what I mean?
Right. To me, it goes back to what I'm saying is, regardless of whether in reality, whether it's in or out, it all boils down to whether or not you thought it was in, and then you say something that's opposite of what your initial reaction was.
This is kind of what I'm getting at. Probably felt it was in.
Thought it was in, but you called out because you want to take that advantage, right? And because you have a core values integrity, it tugs on you.
Yeah,
this is what this is. My thing is, it take a hold of you and won't let go until you solve the problem.
Yes.
Okay. And so this is whatever I'm saying is, when you have a core value that you know that you have, it's very hard to do the opposite of it. If you have the integrity, like I told you, like I would rather tell you, whatever, and hurt your feelings than to lie to you.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Because to the other one, it hurts me.
Right. Exactly.
Right. And so a core value is essentially like indicators. It's like these indicators on the dashboard that tells you, hey, you have something's wrong. You need to fix it. And until you fix it, it's going to tug at you and won't let you be at peace. And so I think that you thought it was in, and you went against your core values.
Yes.
And when you do that, it won't leave you alone. And to me, this is a lesson that we need to take in: is your core values, what you align with, or your indicators. Take heed of it. It is telling you something that's not aligning with who you're supposed to be. And if you are going to go against it, you're going to suffer. You're going to be miserable just because. Yes. And it could be as harmless as a friendly tennis game. It bogs your mind down from doing anything else. You are being taken and swallowed up from the inside.
I was hijacked. I couldn't even function after I left. I mean,
you cannot function. You're being swallowed by this whatever, the anti-integrity swamp monster. And so the thing, it will tell you, you have to set it right. And to me, that's fine. I don't think you did anything approximately right or wrong.
I broke my values.
Well, you didn't broke your value purpose, but because you have multiple values, and those value, the competitiveness inside you overrode one of your core. One of the core value is in conflicting, because your competitiveness wants to win. Okay.
Right.
So in the heat of the moment, that competitiveness core value take over and make it a move. And they say like, well, there's like, I think 70% it's in, but I'm with there's slight doubt. I'm gonna do the opposite. And so your competitiveness core value took over, but then the other core value say, look, you did it wrong. And that was stronger than the competitiveness because it has more, I guess, evidence in saying that you cheated.
Right.
When people
it matters.
When people cheat other people and take advantage of other people, if they don't have the core value, it doesn't affect them at all. It doesn't affect them at all. It affects only you that has the core, because that core value is the one that creates the monster that swallow up your whole entire focus and attention. And you can't do anything else until you basically be able to feed a monster of something that it wants, which is like, hey, I have to correct this. And I think You're doing the right way. Because the thing is, a lot of times what you don't do is you keep endure this. Let's say you endure it. You're like, look, I endured this stupid, you know, can't get my mind. You endure it. You do it the wrong way. If your core value is tugging on you, you say, okay, what do you want, core value? What do you want me to do?
Right.
And do them. And I think you did them right. Yes, you make a mistake because there's a blip in time that in the heat of the moment you use one of the core values that you shouldn't have because
Right.
it was a judgment call at the moment. But then the other one, with enough time, it starts to eat up that attention, that memory. And like I say, if you there's two ways you can do it. One way is the right way, which is to correct them. The other way is to endure them. And so to
Right.
me, that's why I don't understand about when you say approximate right. I mean, you did it right. It is the right
Well,
thing. You
I guess I was saying approximately right because like I could have done it right the first time. So like I
But
may
you
have
don't have the
corrected it.
information. You don't have enough information at the moment to say I did it right or wrong. Because the thing is,
Well, I immediately
when
felt bad after the game was over. I mean, like I couldn't get
yeah,
out of my mind
but
the
how
rest
do
of the
you?
entire match.
You still have to know how do I process it.
I don't know. I can tell you.
You cannot make an action until you get to the point where you say, well, because it's all about the balance of value, right? When something is eating at you emotionally inside, it's going to take a toll. I mean, you're paying for that toll. It is greater than the advantage of the competitive that you want. Your instinct automatically say, well, I know this is not, I have to correct. But
Right.
before it was like maybe the competitiveness and the advantage of winning was a little bit more than that. And so yes, you still have those, but they are basically the balance. Until the balance can settle, right? You're
Right.
not gonna make an action. When you're on the fence,
It's kind
and
of paralyzed. I mean,
it's not like
yeah. It's
you
not like
can
I can
say,
go back
hey,
in time and fix it. You know, like
but
after the game
my,
was over, I couldn't go. You can take that game.
I'm saying
Yeah.
is you can't really go and completely change your elephant. Your elephant is what it is. You can't change it, right? You can train it over time to do certain things, but it's instinctiveness. It's the way it works. It cannot be changed. It's
Right.
like I told you, it's your DNA. Why do you take the integrity as your core values? Did you choose it? No, it's just because it's part of you. It's not like, oh, I want this because whatever, and then I start to develop this bad feeling because I cheat somebody. It's just who
Right.
you are. That's
It's
the
horrible.
elephant.
It's a horrible feeling.
You
Like
didn't
I mean,
choose it.
it is the worst thing ever
It's just the
about
worst feeling. It's just draining
playing it.
you.
Oh
Like
my god, it is like I can't stop thinking about it whenever this is one of the reasons why like integrity even made the list, right? Like I mean, I can't sometimes like certain things in my life when I do something that I know was wrong and I know it was wrong or wrong. Well, I guess wrong subjective. Like I mean, I felt it was
well, when you felt it's wrong, it's just not aligning with the core value that you hold.
right. But
It's just like I said, you don't choose these core values. This core value happens to be a part of your patterns of your DNA, and it's who you are as a person. And you have to abide by the rules of that body.
I think I mean my whole life I feel like that, especially in tennis, I can't remember ever once in my life purposely on purpose, knowing a ball was in and saying it was out. I don't think I've ever done that in my entire life. I've definitely like, been like I called a ball out and I was like, what's that in? Right. There's definitely been, I don't even know how many times in my life when I've had to have that scenario play out, right? Where it's like a really, really tough ball to read and I make a decision one way or the other, right? I'm sure I've caught a lot of balls that were out at the same time too, right? Like when it's on that
But
similar
it doesn't
situation.
matter whether it's reality or not. It's matter what you thought.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. It's like, but it's always an after the fact call, right? Like it's like I make
Right,
a
and then
call in the moment,
that's why I
and
say
then
it's because at the moment you don't have anything to choose from, and you have
right.
to choose one or the other, and
That's it,
you just picked it. But the thing is,
right
when you start to feel bad, it's just that you realize now that more information has come in, and the balance of scale has tipped,
for sure.
and you're gonna have to fix it because otherwise it's gonna eat at you for a long, long time. It's
The
going
whole
to
match,
yeah,
the whole
it's
and beyond.
it's beyond.
Yeah.
It's not just that moment, but it's for days and probably weeks afterward. I mean,
I mean, I'm
only
still
time.
talking about it. I just
Uh,
told you. Like I just wrote a.
yeah, but even if you erase it and I bring it back, the emotion comes to evoke again.
there was a match that I played. God, it was probably like 3 years ago now. It was against that Ricky guy, the one that I finally beat for the first time ever last week, and I'm in the finals now of my tennis summer bracket. Ricky is a fierce competitor, right? I mean, he is a fierce competitor. I am as well. Like, we're both fierce competitors. I'm way more vocal about my competitiveness, but he's like almost like stone cold silent killer, like scary, like competitive. You don't even know that he's fucking raging, but he's fucking raging. This is like, we have complete opposite personalities, but I think we're both incredibly competitive people. Well, this one match we played, it was in the playoffs a couple years ago for this indie tennis bracket. It might have been the first time we ever played, maybe the second time. It was a really big dogfight. I think he won the first set 7-5, and we went to a tiebreaker in the second set. There was so many calls, and I don't know, like at a certain point in time, it just got really out of hand between the two of us. Like, I've never had a match ever in my entire life that I can ever think of, but I'm recounting this for you right now. I wasn't ever purposely trying to call bad lines or something like that, but he'd seem like he thought I was screwing him. Like, and then vice versa, I thought he was screwing me multiple times, as well, where I'm like, what the, like, it felt like it was every other point we were both like, what the fuck, man? Like, like we're both like going, at a certain point in time. This match devolved into this ugly episode where I've never even ever been a part or something like that ever in my life, And at the end of the match, actually, I think it was maybe even going into the second set, I was like, I don't need to cheat to beat you. Like, and I don't want to cheat to beat you. I was like, if you ever feel like I'm making a bad call, just fucking say it. But like, we need to stop doing this shit. That you and I are both like, barking at each other. Like, I get it, we're both competitive, but like that match, like I left that match going, man, he probably fucking hates me. Like, it just as a human being, like, you know what I mean? And I don't hate him. I think he's actually a really great guy. He's a really fierce competitor. But like, I mean, that's all that I could think about. And every time that I play him, every fucking time that I play him since then, honestly, in the back of my mind, that match always replays over and over and over again, where I'm like, man, he probably fucking hates me, And like, I hate that feeling so much, of feeling like that somebody else thinks that, like, he probably told his buddies or something like that, oh, Chris is a cheat, you know what I mean? Like, or something along those lines. And I'm like, I'm not a cheat. What are you talking about? Like, but like this is the shit that drives me nuts. Talk about like why my integrity core value is so, I hate that feeling. Like, I mean, I hate it. Like, I hate it.
Right. Anytime you have a core value, which is like really strongly, the core value aligns with who you are as a person. Anytime you go against it, anytime you violate it, it's gonna give you that icky feeling. And so the reason why you have this awful images of Ricky when you play him is because you have this integrity as a core values, and you, based on your experience, you imagine that he tells other people that you're not an honest guy, and that gets to you. And that's why you have that experience that evokes that emotion of, hey, this awful feeling every time I see him, and imagine that he's saying things that is not aligning with who I am as a person.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm proud to say the match that I finally just beat him for the first time ever last week, there was only one call that he challenged on me the entire time, and I knew without stone cold lead pipe lock that ball was out. I was standing right on top of it, and it was like 3 to 4 inches out, and I was like, no, that was out. Like, I mean, there's not even like 1000% knew this ball is out. And probably the thing that made me feel most proud about that, not just beating him, but like, there was not a single question that he could ever have said to me in that entire match. They would have been like, oh, we fucked me over, and that's what tipped the balance or something like that. Like, no, not at all, man. You just lost. And I swear to you, on all things holy, I will go to the grave and say, the one ball that you challenged me on, it was 1000% out. There was zero doubt in my mind. Like, that probably makes me feel more proud than even just beating him, because these are just for fun matches, right? I mean, it's not like it's not like, well, I don't know. I mean, would it matter if there was money on the line? Let's just say we were pros, and that particular match was, we were playing for $1 million, or something like that. Does that matter?
Yes and no, because it depends. Like I tell you, your body your elephant has this instinct to wait out the effect of multiple core values at once. Whoever comes on top is what you care about. It's the decision you go for. So if you have $1 million on the line, the other core values of security and whatever is going to weigh in as well. And so if it's too much, then yes, it's going to trump the other core values and integrity, whatever. Yeah. So if you have $1 million on the line and you can't pay for it, yes, you will cheat, just because I'm just saying, hey, this is how your body works. I'm not gonna do blah blah blah. I'm gonna do a bunch of shit. I'm gonna eat the frog, right? That is gonna bring misery. All you have to do is understand how your elephant works, how your body works. Your body has a certain affinity to a certain type of characteristic and traits, and those are what governs how you behave. Based on the core value you have, and based on the impact of those core values, it's going to weigh which one is going to be more. Because the thing is, if you are being competitive and you need to win, right, that weighs in on over the other one. But because it's a friendly match and there's nothing to weigh down the other side, your integrity is going to come on top, and it's going to be the one that's going to get to you. If you, on the opposite side, if you have something that is way much more, it's going to trump the integrity value, and that one gets to tug on you.
I think if you just follow your emotions, it's not complicated. And I think
your emotions are your indicator. Okay.
Yes.
So take heed of it. Just like we say in the first book, The Alchemist, right? You know, you need to listen to the omens, right? Watch the omens and take heed of the omens. Your emotions or your indicator. Say, well, I don't like this feeling. Stop doing it.
Stop doing it. Yes, exactly. Stop.
I don't like to stop learning it. You don't need to learn it.
I think this is a really important point that we, at least in this, on punishment does not work when you use it with somebody learning, right? Like if you always think of yourself as a work in progress,
punishment works at all.
It can. It can get you an outcome that you want in the short term. But I'm saying, like, it just, but when you're learning, it stifles the learning.
My argument is that punishment means that, hey, I don't like it. It's like, hey, eat the frog so that you can be, you know, eat the frog, do the hard things first, and endure, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you can get through life through it, but there's other way, there's other alternative. That's not just one way. My point is, in life, there is so many different alternatives that you can use. As long as you figure out how to do it, why are you trying to push it through the one way that you see?
Because it seems easy to punish yourself.
You're being trained, you're being conditioned that way.
I naturally wanted to punish myself for feeling like I cheated that guy in that match, right? Like I naturally wanted to punish myself. I wanted to be like, you're an asshole. I wanted to call myself's name.
You're not doing it for his sake. You're doing it for your sake. So, you know, whatever you say, you're doing it for you. You have this uneasy feeling and you're trying to appease it, and you're trying many things to appease it, like whatever comes to mind. So punishment is one of those things, like to distract you from the pain or whatever. That's just happens to be there. It doesn't mean that, hey, it soothes you anything. It just, hey, it distracts you.
Right.
It just distracts you from that feeling for a moment, but it wasn't enough to completely get rid of that monster. It's still there. So that's the reason why you couldn't punish you. You can go ahead, you know, I'm gonna bang my head against the wall like 100 times and take the punishment, right? You're not doing anything for him. You just said punishment is one of the easy to reach tool to get this user distracted. So punishment for me is one of those tools that people have commonly been using. So it has been in top of mind that say, hey, that's an easy tool that's is out and open that people can see and use, until they keep using punishment, keep using pain, because that's the thing. I mean, if they start looking, then they're gonna find many other alternatives. If they don't look, they don't think about punishment's right there, so they use it. And to me, punishment doesn't
stops growth too.
That's what I'm saying. Is punishment, you cannot use it with any learning, not just somebody.
No. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like we're all work in progress. Like that was my point of all this. Is like
it's just like we're talking about learning. When you, and my opinion is, everybody, all human beings, loves to learn. The thing is, it's not about learning in general. It's learning what matters to you. Right. Whether you say, hey, I love to play poker. Oh, I love to swim. I love to go fishing. I love to play tennis. Whatever. These are learning. You learn something that aligns to you. So when somebody loves to learn, they going to be aligned with who they are. And if you punish somebody in the learning, that learning, it just stops. It gets in the way. So punishment never works with learning.
Stops you from learning.
Period. And to me, learning is about learning the thing that aligns with your core value. The other that it also like kind of get categorized inside in the same bucket as learning is getting information. When you give me information, that's not learning. I don't want to take it. I'm being fed this information. That's not learning. You say, hey, I gotta go to school. I gotta do this, blah blah. That's not learning, because after I don't have to use it anymore, I forget it. So how can you call that learning? Learning to me is taking information and create an insight out of it. Making it your own is called learning.
This reflection is learning.
My definition of learning is that taking the information and distill it for my own. That's learning. So no one can ever learn on something they're not interested in. You can force feed me information. You can tell me about the universe, the solar system, whatever. If I'm not interested, 5 years later, I completely forget it. Like a day later, a year later, completely forget. So that's not learning. Learning is like, okay, I just throw some information at you, and people call that, hey, learn about this. That's not learning.
Right.
Temporary getting exposed to information.
Agreed.
When you truly learn something, punishment cannot be in the equation. You cannot punish me to learn anything. You can put a gun to my head and punish me to learn something. I guarantee you, I will retain that information for that short term, and then it's gone. It will never go into my long-term memory.
Yep. I think the better approach to learning is catch somebody doing something approximately right. They may not be perfect at it. Like, you may not understand all of your values right out the gate, but keep learning. Keep encouraging people to keep learning.
Keep monitoring your emotions,
right?
Because they're there as an indicator, right? It's telling you something, right? You can either ignore it or you can pull out the indicator, right? I'm giving you this,
like my check engine light is on.
Awful alarm. It's for you to get noticed. The sound is awful. It's by design.
No, like legitimately, my check engine light is on in my car, and I'm totally ignoring it. And I know that I need to address it, but I'm just like, maybe it'll go away on its own. It's not gonna go away. You got to listen to yourself. I totally agree. Awesome. All right. Any final thoughts? That's a good purge for the day. Thanks for listening to a long story, by the way. I know that one's a long one.
Yeah, it has its interesting parts, which is, the reactions and how you deal with the actions that you create. As long as the information aligns with your core value, it is interesting. If it doesn't align, it doesn't matter what you do. You can sing, you can dance, whatever. It's like, I go to sleep.
Fair enough. So the question we can leave with everybody is, when was the last time you caught someone learning and gave them some encouragement to keep trying? Don't tell them they suck, and don't punish them. Keep encouraging them. Let them learn. It's fun. Learning's fun.
Our definition of learning.
Learning because you want to learn,
learning, period, is what I say. Learning is something you want to know.
Right.
Learning by forcing somebody a bunch of information isn't learning. That's torture.
Cool. Yeah,
it's like listen to somebody talk for hours about things you don't care about. That is torture. Imagine, but then if they talk to you about something that interests you, it's like the hour seems like 5 minutes.
For sure. Awesome. All right.
Even on the 1 Minute Manager book, we are able to go
still went
a lot of time.
Thanks for joining, as always.
Yeah. Good night.